Hey, what's up, guys? So it looks like there was a leak on Reddit about possible new armor coming into the next update. Don't know which update that will be, but they did say that the armors coming in, which are actually just helmets, but they are part of the armor set. So I don't know if the armor set will be coming in anytime soon, but the helmets are going to be the Mark 7 Aquila armor, or the Imperator armor, which is the most common form of armor that was seen during the Horus Heresy, so it's a very older type of armor pattern. The next armor pattern coming in is the Mark 6, which is the beak style helmet popularized by Raven Guard, and that's also seen by some Stern Guard veterans and the Ultramarines. And then we also have the Mark 8 Errant armor, which was a limited production type of armor, usually saved for firstborn veteran Marines of a sergeant or higher ranks. But Mark 8 Errant armor wasn't around for very long, because soon after the era Indomitus began, which was when Roboute Guilliman was revived, and he brought with him obviously the Primaris Space Marines and the Mark 10 Tacitus armor, which is the current armor pattern worn by Primaris Marines. It's also the primary armor pattern that you see in Space Marine 2. That is the Tacitus armor, and then the various forms of the armor that you can unlock through the armor variations that are available as you rank up your characters. Now, patterns are a term in 40k used to describe weapons, armor, transports, along with variations of each category and etc. Current example is the Godwin pattern bolt rifle. It's the most recent variant of the bolt rifle that was also introduced with the arrival of the Primaris Marines. The Mark 6 beak helmet that we're hoping that makes it into the game is better known as the Corvus pattern. Corvus Corax, who's named after the pattern, is the Primarch of the Raven Guard, who popularized the armor's usage. And for all you that are new to 40k, here are the main 8 before the introduction of the Mark 10 Tacitus armor. So these are all firstborn Marines, basically the patterns. You'll never see a Primaris wear any of this armor. They have their own armor, but you will see some Marines still wearing the Mark 7 and even fewer still wearing the Mark 8. Otherwise, it is the Mark 10 Tacitus armor as we speak. Now I figured we'll go and head over to Warhammer Wiki, where I'll give you a quick quote on each of the armors that are supposedly coming in. And we're going to start with the Mark 7 Aquila armor. Mark 7 Aquila armor, quote, "This version of basic power armor was also known as Imperator armor. It is the contemporary variant of power armor most commonly used by the Space Marine chapters of the Imperium. Mark 7 armor was developed during the last stages of the Horus Heresy and remains in use as the most common form of armor for more than 10,000 standard years among the firstborn Space Marines." Now I'll read you another quote on the Mark 6 armor, and I'll have to read it a bit slowly because trying to read this out loud is a bit of a tongue twister. So let's start it slow. Quote, "The Mark 6 pattern of power armor is the lightest form of the technology and has gained a reputation among tech marines as having the smoothest fit between its moving parts. Despite the complete interchangeability with the Mark 7 pattern of power armor, this small difference means the Mark 6 suits are often fitted with jump packs and used by assault marines, even if they still use a Mark 7 helmet. The finalized pattern of the Mark 6 armor was named Corvus armor in honor of the Raven Guard Legion's Primarch Corvus Corax. It looked a little different from the Mark 4 armor many of them already wore, but upon closer inspection, there were subtle differences in panel shape and bonding, the thicker material of the flexible joints, the solid greaves covering the knees. Most obvious was the bolt reinforced left shoulder plate and the helmet design. Man, there are so many tongue twisters and all that, but I finally got through it. And now for the last, Mark 8 Errant armor. Quote, "The Mark 8 Errant pattern is an update to the Mark 7 Aquila power armor, the first suit of a new power armor produced by the Imperium since the Horus Heresy. This reality illustrates the extreme stagnation of mankind's science and technology over the past 10 Terran millennia since the fall of Horus and the ascension of the Emperor. On the surface, Errant armor looks much like a suit of Mark 7 power armor, but with all the torso cabling hidden behind articulated armor panels, additional armor to protect the rib joints can be seen at the hips, and the ankles of the greaves have been adapted to provide a better range of movement." Now, this stagnation also caused limited production of the Mark 8 Errant armor, since not much was done to update the armor from the Mark 7. So what ended up happening was they limited the armor's usage to veteran Marines of sergeant or higher ranks. Now, because of the stagnation in technology and not much was done to upgrade the Mark 7 armor from the Mark 8, the Mark 8 from the Mark 7, this meant that the production was limited, and because of that limited production, the usage of the Mark 8 Aran armor was limited to only veteran Space Marines of sergeant or higher rank. And then soon afterwards, the era Indomitus began, which was the revival of Robute Guilliman and his Indomitus Crusade. And obviously with it, the Primaris Marines and the new Mark 10 Tacitus armor, which actually was commissioned by Robute Guilliman, but this was 10,000 years prior. So for 10,000 years, it was already planned way ahead of time that a lot of the armor was going to be put into more or less an obsolete kind of state. There are still Firstborn Marines in the current 41st millennia, as far as I know. It's just most of those chapters are now filled by Primaris Space Marines. And again, when the Primaris came in as reinforcements, a lot of them were sent off to reinforce existing chapters, and those chapters can only hold 1,000 Space Marines at a time before having to be split off into their successor chapters or being sent off to create new chapters. So there's a lot of new chapters out there that don't have a single Firstborn Marine. It's all Primaris Space Marines. I don't really know which chapters still have the most prevalent amount of Firstborn Marines and which successor chapters still have Firstborn Marines. That I don't really know. I just know that there's a lot of new chapters out there that are all Primaris at this point. And another thing, according to the leaks with the helmets, is that same update would also bring the option of allowing us to change the helmets on the Traitor Legion Marines. So the Chaos Marines. At the moment in Space Marine 2, the only thing that we can do to Chaos Marines is changing their colors. So if you want to have a black Night Lord, I mean, well, that's all you can literally do is have a black Night Lord instead of a blue Night Lord, because there's no armor options at the moment for any of the Chaos Legions. Just the armor that you see is the armor that you wear, and if you don't like it, all you can do is change colors. But hopefully, it is a nice little step to being able to change the helmets at least on them. I know that some Chaos Legions have some really good looking, I mean ugly, but still cool looking armor that some of them are wearing. I know that some Night Lords in particular have a different patterns, so it'd be nice to see, hopefully in the future, them being able to add some more armor options besides just the helmets, and then give us some more creativity on how we can make our Traitor Legions look. It is neat to see that the helmets will be an option for the Chaos Legions, but it would be nice to have them actually bring in some of the grotesque mutated forms of armor pieces that we can add onto the Chaos Legions. There's a lot to go with on the Plague Marines in particular, the Chaos Legion that serves Nurgle. If you look at some of them, with how twisted and mutated they are, I mean, a lot of their mutations are literally coming out of their armor, sticking out of the armor. They don't have a clean look anymore. They don't look as clean as a Night Lord. Night Lords, yeah, they definitely look clean. They don't have those type of mutations protruding out of their bodies like a Plague Marine does, but still, it would be nice if we saw those kind of customization options to make the Chaos Legions look more chaosy. And before we end it, I may as well show you this one last example of armor variants. So here you're looking at the Vanguard class in Space Marine 2. This guy is wearing Phobos armor, and the Vanguard class is a lighter weight class. He's able to be a little bit more maneuverable, more agile, has the grapple hook. I should have just shown the Vanguard class in multiplayer from that footage, but I don't know why I went back to PvE, and you can see I'm still struggling with the performance issues as always, so hopefully it gets resolved here soon. Otherwise, this was a fun video to make. Good amount of research went into it to make sure I was getting everything right, and there might be something still wrong, who knows. I'll probably get corrected on it. It would be nice if they do add in the entire armor sets and not just the helmets, but that would also be kind of strange. You see someone wearing Aquila armor and standing next to a Primaris Marine wearing the Tacitus armor, and you'll see they're both the same height when Firstborn Marines are shorter than Primaris Marines, so who knows, but this is a good step in the right direction, so hopefully things improve until then. Hopefully, I really want those performance issues. So, until next time.